You're gonna give me a sec. You're gonna give me a second. This is an absolute. Listen, I've been in bed for 16 hours. I slept for 7. I've slept 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I shirked all responsibilities today. Nothing was set up. Forgive me, please forgive me. Let's see what's going on here quickly. And I can't see either. I have no eyes. Well, you better hurry up, Napo. You better hurry up. All right. Let's just go over a couple of things first because, I just got home from USA. The jet lag is why I slept. I was up till 9 a.m. Slept all day. Boring. From LA and Arizona. But Arizona was, for the most part, the most interesting one. I can talk about LA after. I was out there, of course, hanging out at some shows with Billy Wayne Davis. On shows in Tucson and Bisbee, which also saw Andrist, Kristine Levine, a couple of guest spots, and I'm going to get it with Maddie at Bumsteds was very funny. And I was invited to do some time as well, so it was very, very, very nice. So Tucson, first of all, is the hottest place on earth. Why is it? I'm shutting my eyes because there's no point in me even opening them because I cannot see. I have no fucking contact lenses in. Tucson is the hottest place on earth. It might seem like whatever, 100 degrees, 90 something degrees. The dry heat is insane. So the first thing I do is take an Uber to Billy Wayne Davis' hotel room. We may or may not smoke weed in the hotel room. And then hours late doing anything, going anywhere. So we have to rush and get a parking lot Wendy's to eat directly behind Bumstead just before the gig's supposed to start, apparently. But it was fun. We couldn't find where to go inside. It was that sort of chaos as well. We eventually found the conference room, which is the green room, I guess. Quite a lively bar. It's pretty cool. If you're ever in Tucson, go there. I'll definitely be going back. And it's pretty cool. Hang out back there. Everyone was very nice. Staff were very good. Got beers delivered to me. Thank you very much, beer people. And then Stanhope and Bingo came in like pretty close before the beginning of the show. And what I'll say is, the outfits, you see them on a camera, but the outfits in person are something else. The first thing I said was, "Is that a new thrift purchase?" Like, yeah, $7. And when I looked at it, he had these green trousers on that matched perfectly, these tiny little green stripes on the jacket, and they just matched with these bright white shoes. Yeah, the other stuff I just had laying around this house. But that is cool. But it was a pretty good hang. Bumsteads was a bit mental. It was a bit chaotic. I was too busy watching Yellowstone videos to be paying attention to when I should or shouldn't be near the stage. But it ended up being a fun gig. Everyone did very well. I stood at the bar. Stanhope was hosting, sitting down, and running to order drinks. And back, and that was a triangle. So I stood at the bar with him, and then I heard this little voice. He's like, "God." And I was like, "No, it can't be anyone talking to me because I'm in Arizona." So I'm just watching whoever was on stage at the time. Turn around, it's Andrist. I was like, very nice to meet you. Well, it was loud. I just gave him a hug, and then the rest of the evening was chaos. But we had lots of hanging out afterwards, and weed and booze going around. It's very weird to see people like fans wanting to see people. Like, there were a couple of people for Billy Wayne Davis, the couple with a little picture. Can we give him this? And it's like, no, after the show, not before. And then it was weird to see there was another woman sidling up to Billy Wayne a bit in the parking lot, man, trying to ask him questions about Tennessee or something. And Stanhope was pretty good at this point because we were trying to leave. Me and Billy Wayne Davis were trying to leave. we just wanted to get out there. And Stanhope got in the middle, and he's like, "Lady, relax, go over there." And he said he'd answer any question she had on Tennessee later. And she's like, "Well, you don't know about Tennessee." He goes, "I know everything." And like, it's pretty cool of him to push her away so we could leave. So that was a nice moment. I'll probably remember a couple more from Tucson. The next day, I stayed in an Airbnb quite close to where Davis was staying. Little old stone lady, she was pretty cool. Dogs that are just dying in the Arizona heat. Why are you having dogs? Why have you got dogs in the desert, lady? All they do is lay on the floor and go, "This is too fucking hot to be a dog." But they were, I guess, nice enough. The next day, we take a ride out. I get this awesome Mexican burrito at breakfast burrito at Los Chipolanos in Tucson. It's pretty good. It got a little bit heavy and chickeny towards the end, but anyway, I digress. Eventually, meet up with Billy Wayne. I think he picked me up that time. He wants to go to the boneyards, right? The plane boneyards, all the abandoned military planes and stuff and jets. He's telling me it's northwest. I'm telling him it's southeast. So we follow my directions, and we realize we're kind of right because there's two in Tucson. There's one in the northeast and one in the southwest. So we drive around that one and just see how much money is sat there on the fucking in the desert. You can see it from the road. And then we tried to go into a museum. He was like a little boy. I'd also cracked open a THC drink at this point, and half of that prickle pear and lime, beautiful. Then I saw it was 10 milligrams, so I better back off because you know what I'm like, I'll be cry vomiting. So I had half, and then we tried to go to the museum. It was shut, but it was fun. I'm definitely going to go back and walk around that boneyard. Good stuff. And then finish the rest of the thing. We drive to Bisbee. Now I've eaten that burrito for breakfast, right? And that's all I've had. We eventually get to Bisbee and decide to dump my bag on the main street and drive straight to the Shady Dell. It's like 4:30, so it's 3 hours before we need to be there. And Billy Wayne Davis has admin to do, so he's doing booking and all that. He runs all his own shit, booking, promoting gigs. So he's on the phone for 3 hours. So I go in now high from this drink and sit with locals, artists. Knopka made a funny joke about one of these guys, an artist and a poet, and me just drinking beers out of this fucking jet stream in the Shady Dell was pretty full. And after about 2 hours or so, I think Stanhope and Bingo, Jaylee turned up. But I was just drinking with the locals. And I'm trying to remember because there are 2 or 3 little bits of that evening which are quite funny, quite amusing to me. Brett, I don't know if you're out there, but I spoke to Jaylee briefly about no, watch it back. I spoke to Jaylee briefly about the place that shall not be named in Nashville, where we had an amazing breakfast. And he even then said it again. He said, "Yeah, never tell anyone. Never tell anyone. Good coffee, good whatever else, and sauces that we might have had in that place. Phenomenal stuff." But I forgot to eat, so I'd eaten this burrito high all day. I don't smoke weed that often, but in the last 24 hours, I've smoked more weed than I have in the last year, being with Billy Wayne fucking Davis. And behind the thing in Bumsteds, everyone's giving you weed and pipes and things, and I'm like, so I'm high, drunk. This is hours before the show even starts. And then people are eating food out the diner, Dot's Diner, right? I think Jaylee's eating a big plate of barbecue. And I realized I could have got a plate, and I didn't even think. I thought, "Oh, that looks nice," and that was as far as my high brain got. The drink kind of wrapped my brain in velvet all night. I was like, I don't fucking know, which will lead into the main point of this, which is only a small story, but yeah, there was potentially an attempted kidnapping. So I don't eat is the long short of it. Then Kat and Steve arrive, and I had no idea. Kat's up there with the guitar. I was like, "What's that?" "Oh, Andrist insists I'm performing tonight." Great. Okay, this is great. Jaylee's giving her a guitar. She's getting up. So yeah, stand up goes. I think he said, "How do you want me to bring me up?" I said, "I don't care. Just tell him I'm an idiot that came 5,700 miles for this trailer park." So he brought Kat up, and she did phenomenal, singing away. That I think she's posted the song on YouTube. Is it Whiskey something? I don't know what it's called, but go check Sugar Cat Loaf out. So that was a fun hang. And then Stanhope was good. He did quite a few longish riffs before her and I, and then eventually brought me up, which was cool. And at that point, I was on I had a margarita and fucking just got down. Went okay. It went all right. The show, I was all right with it. But I did get heckled. I got heckled from the very back by someone who wasn't even in the show. So we've got this separate courtyard, and they've made it all nice. They've made a stage which backs directly onto the cemetery. So if you die in this way, you can die this way. And outside of this, the fencing, people can come in to pee. But outside of the fencing are all the jet streams, all the trailers from the Shady Dell, right? But right in that corner, some guy starts yelling at me, "You cons, you English cons. You're fucking English and all this, you pussy." And I remember I've listened to the recording back, and I remember saying, "Well, you're saying I'm a pussy, but every time you say it, you're hiding behind the fucking gatepost." And then I think I made an insinuation that you might have been a traveller, or Piquet, if you've seen Snatch and Lux or Snatch at least. Do you like dogs? So anyway, carry on. I did mention so two things that made me laugh. Cat made a bit of a mistake in the song, and Stanhope talked about it. He's like, "Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. It's how you react to it." And I'd mentioned blackface in a joke. It's kind of a new one as well. And I can't really do it over here because it's about a comic that's over here that everyone loves. But I mentioned blackface, and Stanhope went up and said, "I'm glad Carl mentioned blackface before I did. Now it's taken a bit of the heat off. I can go into this now." So that was quite funny. And I'll admit, hearing him laugh at the side of the stage made me feel good. Got a boner about that. But no, it went very well, very fun. And then this night, because at Bumsteds, Andrist headlined, but he didn't know he was headlining until he headlined. They were just playing the trick because he hadn't done stand up in a while. It was a bit of a trick on him. Basically, it's like, "Oh, you're headlining right now." So he went up with his notes on the Thursday and did some fucking really good jokes. And some of them, I was stood at the back, and some of the, this is at Tucson, some of the crowd was just not. There were 2 or 3 of them were like, "No way, man," because he was talking about Black Jesus and some 9/11 stuff. That was funny. But tonight they switched back around. So Andrist, it's Levine, Andrist, Davis, all of which absolutely smashed it. And it got a little chaotic towards the end as well. I'm just trying to think if I missed anything. Yeah, it got a little chaotic towards the end. Well, Andrist kept going back up, and then he wouldn't finish. And I've got a clip somewhere where Billy Wayne Davis goes up and he's like, "Are you done?" try and boot him off the stage, but it was fucking funny. Hawking the issues with Andy Murch as well. That was good fun. There's a couple of shots from this. I keep seeing new pictures, by the way, Johnson. So if anyone's got any more, let me know. I'm getting a video and stuff from Cat. These shots here on the left. So I stood over by that. I stood over with Stanhope actually watching Billy Wayne Davis, and I was like, "That's a cool diner." So Shank, very nice guy, by the way. I didn't know what it'd be like when he doesn't like leaving the house. Said, "Do you want a picture of you by the diner?" And then he got one of me and Stanhope after that. But this one, I was walking around, I think, while Billy Wayne Davis was on, and they just stood in the middle of the grass. So I was like, "That's such a cool shot." There's another one where Stanhope's hands are down, and then that one, it looks like he's doing a little Heil Hitler as well with a drink in his hand, which I like. I'll make a little gif of those. But that was funny. Chad Shank, very nice man. To the right people, I'm sure. And then, so now I can't remember. My mind is now getting a little bit fuzzy because I don't know if I'm high, drunk, dehydrated, jet lagged, tired, nervous, all of that. Adrenaline dump after doing a thing, right? All of that. Now I don't know what's happening. I can't remember if this was during Billy Wayne's set or after. But the Irish guy come up to me. He'd come into the show that he shouldn't have been in and said, "That was me heckling. I'm really sorry." But he had these workman gloves on, like he's dealing with barbed wire and shit. So I shook his hand in these gloves. I'm like, "Oh, there's something off about this one." He goes, "I'm really sorry." So I just gave him a hug. I was like, "No worries, man. It's fine. It was fine. It made people laugh. I dealt with it okay. No worries. Have a great night." And then he said something and went off. Now, Johnson, I don't know if Johnson's in there, but remembers the timeline. Oh, yeah, I tried to assault Johnson. Right, both. I assaulted Johnson, and I just tried to fuck him from behind, in front of his wife. Why not? I'm happy. I'm happy. I've had a great time, been on a great show. I'm very happy now. Let me hug Johnson and put my penis in his bum. So I did that. Whatever. I'm Russell Brand. Go fuck yourself. I don't know what the timeline was, but anyway, at some point, the heckler comes back into the show because remember it's like a separate courtyard thing. He comes back in and gets me again and goes, "I want you to come and meet my wife." And I'm like, "Ah." And I'm looking around. We've got these tables, and around the edge of that, there's a walkway that you can go around. You've got a bar out of a jet stream, which is great. You can see it on the website, and there's a walkway around. So I'm thinking, oh, his wife's. He goes, she's out there. So I'm thinking his wife is in this walkway, just behind the seats, right? So I'm like, shh. All right. I felt a bit weird. I was like, sure, I'll. She wants to meet you because she heard. Because you can hear the gig from the trailer they were staying at, right? So you can hear me yelling at her husband and him yelling at me. So she goes, so I'm thinking it's outside this walkway. So I think, sure. So I start heading over. And I'm thinking, and I know I'm drunk and high at this point. I'm like, where is your wife? And he's like, out, all the way out there, like over the fence in the trailers. And I'm like, I don't know. But I keep walking. And we go down the side because now you're out of sight of what the comics were to the right, the stage is here, and we're out of sight of where the comics are, right? So it's just me walking down next to the people, the great unwashed. And I just hear this yell behind me, like, "Hey, what's happening?" Like, I don't know what the paraphrase was, like, "Oh, good." And I turn around, it's Stanhope looking fucking immaculate, that's seen what's going on, ran around the corner to intervene because I don't even know what's happening. And then Chad Shank stood next to him like the best bodyguard in the world. I'm like, So I look back at the guy and he's like, "Oh, I just taking him outside to see my wife." And I don't know what happened. There was a bit of a back and forth. Stanhope was doing all the talking. He was doing all the negotiating. Shank was there like this, and I was like, I'm just high. This is my friend. And he goes, I think it ended with Stanhope saying, "If you want him outside, you fucking pay him." I'm like, and at that point, I'm like, oh, it is weird that he wants me to go out and he's heckled and he's come back in. He's wearing these gloves, these weird gloves, and he's a traveler. I'm looking at Shank. I'm like, and then a small part of my human brain comes back in, and it's like, oh, it is weird. I was like, yeah, I said, it's really nice. I don't want to go outside with you. I feel a bit weird about this now. And then my head's like, am I going to get stabbed or kidnapped? So he's very upset about this, by the way, and leave. They've managed to leave. We go back in. And yeah, Stanhope and Shank thought we were going out to duel, to fight about the heckle. First of all, I'm never going to give a shit if you heckle me. As long as you're not too much of a dick, I'll deal with it. And I did. So they thought I was going out for some sort of duel at the Shady Dell. And I was like, no, I was just going to meet his wife. I don't know. She's out there. And they're like, yeah, you shouldn't. You don't know who these people are. Don't go out there. So there we go. That's the kidnap. I believe it was a kidnapping, or they were both going to fuck me. But maybe he was the nicest guy in the world. And there's more to this guy from the next night as well. There's more. So that all finishes, and we all leave in a car. And well, me and Billy and Davis walk around the corner, and then we see, I can say Andrist, Levine, a couple of others walking back into the Shady Dell. And we're like, I think it's Billy Davis. Let's follow them. So we walk back in, and it turns out there's an after party in some lady's trailer, and there's a few of us in there. And it was a lot of fun. I'll say you that. Billy Wayne Davis took off at 2 a.m. to get to Phoenix rather than sleep the night. He only smokes weed. He doesn't drink, and he doesn't do anything else. So we were just having a lot of fun in this trailer. I think Levine took me back to Bisbee because I couldn't walk back there from the Shady Dell. I would have fallen in that pit. That was great fun. The next day, we just did a 6-hour. First of all, shout out to Tom Konopka, who he goes, "We're meeting at 8:30." No, he doesn't talk like that. It's like, "We're meeting at 8:30." The coffee shop. So I'm staying right above Main Street, right? So the coffee shop's no part. Now I wake up the next day, obviously out of my fucking mind at 7, going, "Oh shit, 8:30," and then he changes it to 8. We're supposed to meet Kat and Steve, a couple of locals. Jason, is it Jason and Kelly? I might get Jason's name wrong. They were really nice though. Drove us around, all that stuff. We go down there. I go down there. So Konopka's there with these two, the couple that I didn't know. They're at the show and everything. So I was like, oh, yeah, nice to meet you. I thought, we're getting coffee, though, because I haven't had anything. I'm fucked up. We're having a nice coffee, wait for Kat and Steve, then we'll go on this tour. No, we get there and Konopka's like, let's go. Steve and Kat, they're still asleep. He sounds a little bit like Trump in his intonation. It's like, very late. They're very late here. We're going for the tour. But he's a little bit more mob as well with that. We had some fun with that down the tour. All the best vegetables in Bisbee. Fresh vegetables grown here. So we go on this tour. And I say walk. We walked. We were with him for 6 hours. I thought it'd be an hour. 6 fucking hours. But beautiful. Up and down the hills. Bear in mind, I've had no fluids. And it's hot. And we're going up and down for ages. Andrist is now complaining, like, can we go on TripAdvisor? We've come up here. Where are the fucking water bottles? What's going on? But it was good fun. We actually met Kat and Steve halfway, and then we did more up and down these steps. So Bisbee's got this little main street, but it's got all these weird hidden steps. Some of them are full of beautiful art. There's a Buddhist shrine up on a hill. So we're walking almost on top of people's houses. So you see where the houses all stacked up. You can walk up and down all this. And Konopka does this every day, and he knows everyone. We must have stopped 50 times. We even stopped in the Theatre Royale where Stanhope shot that special later, and it's being renovated. You look in the room, and he's like, "I'm just walking in here." Now he's going to be Tom Dice Clay. "I'm going in here, Stephen. Can I take my friends in here?" And they're like, "Sure, Tom." Everyone knows Tom. He just knows everyone's dog. 50 people. I'm not joking. Everyone. "I'm just walking my friends in here." They're like, all right, Mr. Rothstein. So, and he knew Rothstein, right? So. Fun times. And then, so we're thirsty. So we go to the farmer's market. Andrist is in Stanhope's car, I think. He drove me and Tom up. It's Jason. I think it's Jason. And Kelly drove up the rest. And we went to the lovely farmer's market up in Warren. I had a little $3 burrito about this big. Little local stores and stuff. We had a nice iced coffee. We also, there was like a photo place that sell Bisbee stuff. So I got this. I paid for this Bisbee magnet, which is pretty cool. And then they had these for like $18, and I was like, I'm not paying that. And Andrist had got one. I hope he didn't pay. And then the guy goes, "Oh, were you on the show last night?" I was like, "Yeah," and he just gave me this. So he gave me the picture of the diner, Dot's Diner. I think now it's in a. I think they've shifted the place around. They've built this nice courtyard in the middle. And Andrist got a nice one of the bar sign, all arty and everything. So it's really nice. So I think he's going to have that behind him when issues with Andy. Eventually I want to get something here. But yeah, that was really nice of them as well. So I got to say, the community in Bisbee, I did shit. The first thing I did when I went up on stage was shit on the town for a couple of minutes and called them all criminals, basically. But, it seemed like an appropriate thing to do. But actually, everyone was really fucking nice. Like, really nice. It just ran. And then it's weird also the first time walking around the town and go, "Hey, man, nice show last night." And like, what the fuck? The weird British guy that's mumbling around, half bombing. But it was good fun. Someone came off and said we really enjoyed the first half of your show. And I was like, "Oh, half a thank you." Chad Shank was there and fucking laughing his head off. I was like, "Yeah, half a thank you. I'm thanking you, not you." Or just a So we get that done. Bump into Stanhope at the farmer's market. He's out buying a single tomato. That's all I think he's ever brought at the farmer's market. So we hung out up there for a little while. Great iced coffee as well. Oh, the very best iced coffee in Bisbee. I know we disperse. I bump into Johnson in the street and his wife. We have some nice coffee. I've got a bottle of wine because I want to start drinking. I decant the wine into a plastic bottle so I can drink it on the street. Johnson comes back to my hotel room. That will be the rest of that. We don't need to go into any more detail than that. He sent his wife home, pretended to Bisbee Coffee staff that we're gay, and we're about to tell the wife that. Yeah, so Johnson tells the staff at Bisbee Coffee that we're gay, and we're going to tell the wife. So his wife comes down the street. And they're like, "Is this true?" He's like, "Fuck yeah, man." And so all they're seeing from the window is her coming down, being there for a while, then him sending her away, and it's just us two. So when they close, the two young waitresses come and sit out the window here, just laughing at us, like giggling, like, "Oh my God, is this romance? Are we seeing romance in Bisbee?" Which was funny. And then we go off to my hotel room together, or Airbnb. So that was amusing. Now I'm drinking decanted wine. We go to Chuckleheads. I was going to see, is it Becca that runs that? But they're in Colombia, so. But it was good fun in there. Went in there for like an hour. And then we were supposed to meet Konopka for a bar crawl. And we go outside, and he's all dressed up and showered. He's like, "I'm out of here. I'm out of here." He's now Konopka Dice Clay, not Tom Trump. I'm out of here already. So we say our goodbyes. He's like, "Good luck." He goes, "I hear something's going on at the Shady Dell. Andrist is phoning me. He's out of his fucking mind." He can't really understand. He's not answering his thing. So we're like, let's go and have a beer or two in Chuckleheads, like $3 PBRs, whatever they were. And then we'll drive to the Shady Dell and see. So we drive Captain Steve home. We go in a little convoy up to there, and we walk in, and at the bandstand is Andrist, Levine, Stanhope, Bingo, a few others having a fucking drink in the bandstand. So we go to the gas station, or whoever it was, Jason. I think his name's Jason. It might be James. I'm sorry. There's a Jason on Twitter as well. That was there, and we just sit and hang out for a while. There was one incident which I'm not going to talk about publicly there, but it's one of the funniest moments of my life. There's a picture on my Twitter of me and Andrist. Andrist out of his fucking mind, by the way. I think I was doing a pretty good job about being the most fucked up person there, and Andrist, I think, had me beat by 20%. I think he was 20% in his fucking cowboy hat. And something happened there, which I won't say publicly because it's not cool publicly, but very funny in person. And Stanhope was on the red wine as well, Yellowtail Shiraz, I believe. Nice $8 wine. I like it actually. And I was drinking my wine out of a water bottle, the beers that the kind people of Bisbee went to bring. And then I was just grabbing drinks. I was starting to get obnoxious. Like, I want that green drink. Put some ice and vodka in there. So I think in that picture, I've got a beer, a High Life, and a green cup with something in. And there's just lots of that going on. I don't remember. I guess I don't remember how that evening ended. So that was a third surprise after party, even though there was no before. It was just a hang. But very nice. I think Stanhope said something like, "I'm the new British friend," and like a cross between Hack and British Jonathan. So that, all right, I don't know what that means. Am I going to get fucked now? Yeah, I forgot the important thing about the bandstand. The heckler from the night before. He's staying out. First of all, in the after party the night before at the trailer, it happened to be next to the fire pit where him and his wife were. So he kept calling me over, and I did meet his wife the night before. I forgot. It's just kind of nice in a fucking dressing gown next to the fire. So I was like, "Hey, yeah," and he's being all too friendly. Great, and we're now in this trailer having a thing, but he kept trying to get involved and all that, so it's a little bit annoying. But the next night in the bandstand, he comes back because he hears that I'm there. Now either he wants to kill me, fuck me, kidnap me, or all three in whatever order he wants to do. But maybe just really nice. But he comes over, heard that I haven't eaten. I think we had I eaten at all that day? Because bear in mind, I hadn't eaten almost anything the day before. This day I'd done the hike. I think I'd had chips. I'd had a bit of pastry that someone gave me, and then some jalapeno chips, and I was eating that shit. That's all I had. So I'm at the bandstand going, "Fuck, I'm fucked up. I haven't eaten all day." And he goes, "You haven't eaten?" I don't know if he knew my name at that point, but then his accent changed. He wasn't Irish anymore. So I think he's in the CIA. He was like, "Oh, you haven't eaten today?" He said much more. And I was like, "No." And he comes back with meat in a bun, just some unnamed meat in a bun. And I'm like, I looked at Stanhope and went, "Shall I eat this?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I ate that one. Meat fell all over me. And I think at that point, Stanhope goes, "How should I nibble all that meat off your like crotch or something?" I was like, "Only if I take a picture and we have this as blackmail." And we're just fucking around. But I ate this thing, and I'm not sure I ate it. And I was like, grateful. My body was grateful I ate this thing. But now I'm like, am I being drugged? Am I being poisoned? Is this his wife I'm eating? If I go and hang out with him, am I going to be the meat in the bun for the next one? Or the next fucking town the carnies go to? The Sierra Vista meat? Is that me? So all this stuff is going through my drunk head. And then he goes, "You're still hungry?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'll get you more." But the second one I'm way more suspicious of. And I'm like, "I'm going to eat this later." So he comes back with a Ziploc bag for me. They zip it up. Someone posted this on Twitter as well the next day. I'll try and find it and retweet it later. Kelly, who was cleaning up, I think they're staying at the Dell. The only thing left on the bandstand table the day after was my Ziploc free meat from this man. So that, yeah, I've forgotten about that part. But very strange. And then he kept trying to get me out of the bandstand. I'm talking to him, and he goes, I'm looking at everyone else. You want to go back and see your little friends? I'm like, yes, that's why I'm here. And he goes, tomorrow, what are you doing? I said, I'm in Tucson. He goes, I'm in Tucson. I'm in Tucson. Go to this bar. Now, he said the bar called either Vinny's or Finny's. I'm not sure which one. I did try and look at them. He goes, go to Vinny's or Finny's. Tell them Patrick sent you. Right? I'll come down and you drink for free for the whole night. And now I'm like, oh, shit. Maybe that'll be a good idea. So the whole time I was going to Tucson, I was drinking alone the next night, but I didn't end up going because the only thing Vinny's or Finny's I could see were miles out of town. I was like, no, I'm just staying downtown. I could walk downtown in like 20 minutes. So I went to a bar called Elliot's actually. And the hotel Stanhope's living at actually there. I realized I went there in 2016, just a weird coincidence. But I went to a bar called Elliot's and made some more friends who happened to be comics as well. And I found through pictures I got given free pizza. But anyway, that was a fun night. But I didn't go to Finny's or Vinny's to meet the heckler Gypsy Carney man, who either was an absolute psycho, slightly off, and just wanted me to meet his wife and eat meat, wanted to kill me, or he was just a really socially awkward, off-center, nice guy who wanted to feed me and make me meet his wife. I don't know. I don't know which one. I lean towards psycho, but that might be just judgment. It might just be a little bit socially off. He never did anything. I don't feel poisoned. When I did meet his wife, it was just, hey. And I was clearly like wanting to be elsewhere to get the drugs. Wanted to be elsewhere for the drugs. Give me the drugs. Give me the drugs now. But yeah, lots of weed, lots of booze. And I think barring one event, I think that's most of the most interesting moments. But lots of interesting moments. Good hang. I've got to say, Stanhope is very, very nice. Very, very nice man indeed. Very, very generous, very nice, very engaging, make sure you're involved. Funny. Bingo's very nice too. She was on mushrooms on the second night. I said something to her because the first night at Bumsteds, she seemed like, but I said something to her at the Shady Dell. She turned around and goes, I am very heavily medicated. And I was like, I'm stable, but very heavily medicated. I was like, good, okay. But outfits on point. Top hat first night, football outfit second night, the third night, can't remember, fluffy shit, I think. But best outfit in Bisbee. And what a wacky couple. You know, I think that's it, unless I remember anything else. So subscribe and that if you're watching this back. If not, piss off. Piss off. And hopefully I'll be in the States sometime in 2024 for interesting events. So I don't like saying anything until things are in place. But yeah. So hopefully back and more fun, hopefully, in America. In America, man. What the only thing I love America, right? None of you need trucks that big. 1% of you need a truck where it's like fucking 5 feet high just to get here. What do you call this? What do you call the bonnet in America? The hood? Why do you need a hood this big? And you don't fucking need. Most of you are driving from your home the 1 mile to fucking Walgreens. Yeah, I know the places. Wells Fargo, Trader Joe's is over that way. I know. Ralph's, whatever. You go in a Starbucks, you go into your shitty kid's school, your disgusting child to pick them up, you loser kid, and then you're going back home to not sleep with your wife anymore. I got a truck. I was like, what's wrong with you people? But yeah. It was cool being in Tucson and seeing the F-35s fly around the airport and then wake you up in the night. And when we're driving to Bisbee, I got a few shots actually. but they're in the distance. We saw like a chain of 4 of them, and then another 3. That was pretty cool. And Billy Wayne is really in the plains. Billy Wayne in his plains, man. Billy Plain Davis. But I quite like him too. So I was like, that we wanted to go to the Boneyard. I hope we can go back together again and hold hands, man. You sound like Batman when you want drugs. Like, give me drugs. I wasn't saying that out loud, but in my head I was like, drugs. Where are they? Where are the drugs? I won't say any more about that, but there were lots of jokes going around, so which does relate to one other incident which cannot be mentioned for legal reasons. But good lots of good fun then. Good lots of good fun. Anyway, so I can't see. I don't have contact lenses. I haven't showered in 2 days. I was in bed for 16 hours just now. None of this was set up. That's why I was late. Bear with me. And if you're watching on if you're watching on Rumble, by the way, give us a follow. Go head over to YouTube, The Last Rites. Give us a sub as well. I'm not very good at monitoring Rumble yet, and given how tired I am and all the excitement and everything, just trying to check the internet there. Okay, I see what's happening here. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I need to click on that. Right, I'm a fucking moron. Oh, there's an advert right now. On Rumble. Apologies for the advert. Why am I getting ads to my own stream? If you do want this back on Rumble, obviously head over to YouTube at The Last Rites Podcast as well and give us a sub. That would be quite lovely. I thank you. We'll stop. Okay, let's play that back. Oh yeah. So what happened? So I'm so impressed with him, and it's a lesson to learn. And I had a conversation with Andrist about this, and he's not willing to do it, but he just needs to find another way. Andrist is going to smash it in the next year, by the way. And there's going to be some really cool stuff coming out of Bisbee in the next year. I was getting a bit annoyed with him. I was like, this goddamn stoner, we're supposed to meet here, but it's now 3 hours later, we're not doing this. And when we got to Shady Dell, but what I realized was he's doing all his admin. He runs his whole show himself. So he's on the phone to bookers, promoters, obviously got family shit as well, but selling tickets, doing this, doing that, organizing everything himself as he's going the tour. So what happened with Kansas, and I don't think this is too much out of school, what happened with Kansas is the venue forgot to promote. They didn't advertise, and I think was the show on Sunday. So I think we found this out on Friday afternoon. Oh, is it Saturday? The show was it Saturday or Sunday? Anyway, I think we found that out Friday afternoon. That's so when I was high and drunk with the locals that embraced me. Oh, you're from England, man. That's not how they sound, but whatever. The next night, Saturday night, yeah. So he found out on the Friday that Kansas had not fucking advertised the gig. I'm like, Jesus, man. So I think they'd sold like 3 tickets at that point. And tickets now, we're having this conversation about it. Tickets now go late anyway. You don't sell tickets unless you're like fucking Elton John. You don't sell tickets until the week of the show. Some might go, a few more might go out, and then it's so the stress levels, if that's your income, the stress levels of it. I've had it on a smaller level at the moment, but the stress levels of like there's 3 tickets fucking the shows tonight. And then I've had an argument years ago, and the venue owner died the next day, by the way. I had an argument with the venue owner and he fucking died. And I don't know if he killed himself, had a heart attack, or had a stroke, but I might have been fucking culpable. Fuck you. Rest in peace, Steve. Because he's like, why isn't there anyone here? And I was like, why isn't there anyone here? You were supposed to advertise it here, and you fucking haven't, with your shit venue that's out the way. And then he died the next day. That's a true story. He died. But I can't believe that happens at promoters or venues just forget to fucking tweet, make an Instagram post. Unbelievable. A week prior, yeah. Because all he needs, right? All he needs are like 60 tickets, 60, let's say 60 tickets, 60 to 70 tickets. That's all you need. 50 to 70. That's all you need. When you're doing a tour like that, that's all you need. And you're pulling it in. You're pulling in the cash, paying for the travel, getting yourself a wage. But yeah, and Bumsteds was pretty good, and then I think a lot sold on the door as well. So that was pretty full. I don't know how many people were there in the end. It's not the biggest room, but there were quite a few people there, and there was a reasonable amount of cash floating around, I think. And then there's other deals as well. Like some venues, you might have a deal with a bar, or you might take 80% of the tickets, or 100%, or there's all that shit as well. But yeah, you don't need to sell that many tickets town to town, but it's just selling them, right? You've got to be able to sell them in the first place. And some towns are going to know you, some towns won't. Sometimes there's too much going on. But he's, I was impressed that he's running most of it himself and living. But it's a lot of work. If you want to do that, you have to be able to put 2 or 3 hours of admin a day in while you're going. And if you haven't got that work ethic, you're going to struggle. Cuckleheads. Yeah, so I haven't got my contact lens in, so I can't read the comments very well. 3 days later, yeah. Well, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it because you can only do so much yourself, right? And not everyone's gonna know you, so you have to rely on venues. And people are lazy, and people do forget. There's a lot of comedy clubs about to go under, by the way, in the US. I'm pretty sure that a lot of them are going to go under. I've got a couple in mind that probably will, and that it happens all the time. But a lot of it is, yeah, you got to get bums on seats. You got to get people who are motivated to do stuff. A lot of clubs are run by like one person, or they hire someone to go and do that marketing, and they don't do it. And what it means is just write an Instagram post. Just do that locally. Local people follow the local businesses. I've got friends who are promoters now, and they sell all their tickets just from one Instagram post. Maybe a Facebook, but mostly Instagram. And it's just, yeah, the local community follow that venue. And they'll just blast it out a couple of times a week before. You don't want to do it. You don't want to put out adverts 6 weeks before, because people aren't thinking like that now. They're not thinking, as I said, unless it's a massive artist, they're going to sell out. People aren't even thinking about it until the week of, because phones and apps and technology are giving you everything instantly. We can have everything we want right now. I can order stuff from Amazon right now. I can order food right now to my house. We don't have to decide. We can just go, what do we need to eat? This. Let's get it. Let's go. That's happening with tickets as well. And what you want to do this weekend? Do you want to go bowling? Do you want to go? Most people who go to comedy shows aren't even comedy fans. And I've said it before. Most people who go to comedy shows aren't comedy fans. They're going out to a comedy night as an alternative to going go-karting, cocktail night, just drinking, staying in, hitting the wife. It's just, what are we going to do? Oh, there's comedy. Oh, there's this. Most people who go to comedy nights fucking never go to comedy. They might go once a year, every 2 years, whatever. They don't even know who half the comedians are. And it's one of the things I hate about, because here, right, everyone's trying to get onto the chain club circuit. But it's fucking depressing, man. I think I'll put a shotgun in my mouth if you've got to do like, and everyone's so drunk, everyone's so hammered by 7:30 p.m. and on cocaine and being sick in the toilet by 8 p.m. All their dumb brain wants here is like, they want to hear you swear and maybe do a local accent or reference. But that's making it. That's getting on the club circuit where you're going to get a guaranteed salary and regular work from these people. Is that the path you want to go down? I don't know. It's a bit. I remember I worked behind the bar at one of these places. I ain't got given free drugs, by the way. So when they were confiscate drugs off the audience members, who do you think took them? It was the staff. We're taking these drugs and we're gonna do these drugs behind the bar right now. You're getting arrested, man. Getting thrown out. Get out of here. I know he flushed them. I remember like cleaning glasses. It was quite hard working behind the bar because the bars in the UK tend not to be constant. They open and shut at intervals. It's a bit crazy. I think it's the wrong way to do it. I think America's got that right. You keep that bar constant and you have staff that are subtle with it. It's not going to interrupt the show. So anyway, it's hard shift. So I'm cleaning, fucking doing whatever. The cliche polishing a glass, I don't know what it was, but I was stood watching Headliner and I was thinking, this, that's before I even went to an open mic. I was like, is this it? This is like, I knew how much money I was getting paid. It's pretty good. And I was like, that's it. That's it. You're going in there. But then I realized, yeah, he's just playing. He's just being a comedian. He's just playing to that crowd, which is a bunch of drunken fucking morons that probably go to a comedy club once a year, and they're all on cocaine or drunk by 8 p.m. They don't give a shit. That boomer talk, Napo? Sorry, let me catch up on some of these. Again, I haven't got any contact lens, and I'm sorry, I can't see. Southern Rock Bar called Carquads that huge vending place was empty yet. 85%. Yeah, and so Levine was really good. Andrist was very. I mean, so the Andrist was a bit more anxious, I think, the night before, and he had his notes and stuff. But the second night, but he was still great. And the second night, he was so much freer. I can't describe it, but he was just so much freer, and it was so more chaotic and great. But Billy Wayne Davis, I mean, he can do a good hour, a good hour, and it's hard. It's hard. People sit at home or someone that's never done comedy going, "Oh, why are you only doing 30 minutes?" Yeah, because it's fucking difficult and takes years to get 30 minutes. Years and years to get a good 30 minutes. Right? You might be able to be on stage for 30 minutes, but it's 5 or 6 fucking years to be able to do that competently. But having a good hour where you can deal with any kind of crowd is it's pretty impressive, and he's funny as fuck. Very relatable as well in term, and I think I was really nervous more about my accent because the only time I did stand up was at an open mic in New York in America, and the fucking cunts, man, got some laughs, but it was a bit of a weird one. And I'm not female. Some of the comedians were absolutely fucking cunts at that venue as well. Absolute cunts, narcissistic cunts. I'm dating a billionaire. They're fine. You can have any jokes about it? Oh no, you're just going to talk about dating a rich guy for 10 minutes. That's your material with your tits out. Is that your material? Okay, great. Narcissistic fucking weirdos. But the biggest thing in New York, the guy hosting it, man, what accent is that, man? And he is a black guy, so I can do that. What accent is that, man? I was like, it's the real one. That's what I think. That's why I said that in Bisbee. I was like, yeah, you wonder what accent it is. It's the real one, isn't it? So it's like now I was really self-conscious because it's like, yeah, I'm obviously the only person with a British fucking accent. So I think half of it was just that. But for this stuff, I was trying to change some references because they're not going to get that. They're not going to get that. So I had to rewrite a lot of stuff and then write some new stuff, which is difficult on a bigger show. But yeah, so that's how I stressfully dealt with that. But my biggest fear was the British accent. I don't know why. It's just whatever gets in your head, isn't it? But it was fun. Oh, forgive me there. But yeah, all you need is 50 to 70 tickets, $20 a pop. And some nights are going to be shit. Some nights you're not going to get anyone in. But if a lot of nights you get people in, you're doing fine. And yeah, most people at Bumsteds were here to see Billy Wayne as well. A few for Andrist, I think. I still don't think many people even know fucking Stanhope is. They're like, kind of know. Konopka was saying even in Bisbee, most people don't know who he is. They're like, oh, this guy, comic comedian. which is funny. But yeah, very strange. A lot of comics don't either. It's very, very odd. Like, do some fucking research. Do some recent. You might not know who George Carlin is, okay, or Richard Pryor, or fucking, I don't know, some other cunt from the 60s. But you should know someone who's been pretty good recently. Even if you don't like him, you should be able to know who he is, right? It's weird to me, but people don't. People just like, I like fucking James Acaster or Bo Burnham. Okay, but you should know who some of these other people are. No, like 10 comics that you don't like. Know who 10 comics that you don't like are. You should know that. But I do like. Because I have said before, I hate comedians. Most comedians are a fucking nightmare. Nightmare. Don't want to go near them. We're having some problems in this country with some big promoters that I fucking knew from day one. First of all, they hate me, so don't give me time anyway. Secondly, I hate them. So in the last 2 or 3 years, I've decided I'm not even going to go near. I'm not even going to ask, even if it's a really good gig. I'm not even going to ask. I don't want to work for idiots or with idiots. Sometimes you want to build with someone, you can't do it. So most comedians can go fuck themselves. But the ones that are cool, that you can hang with in person and work well with together, they're the best, and they are the very best. Those people are like family almost, and people you meet and you just click. Okay, we can get on as a human being. We can get on, and you're funny. And if you laugh at one of my jokes, okay, I'll accept that I might be funny sometimes, but I'm full of anxiety, like a little anxious spider, and I'm getting weird about it. Get nervous thinking about it actually. But those comics are the very best to me. Some people like all comedians. I fucking hate. I cannot stand a room full of comedians because I'm only going to like about 3 of them. If there's 50 comedians, I'm going to like. Ah, that's not true. Maybe I'd like 10, and there'll be another 10 that I want to talk to, but I'll be too anxious to talk to, and I think they're a cunt, but they're not really. They're just also feeling anxious. So part of it is like the weird thing. Part of it is anxiety, I think. I guess it's called. I don't know. And then there are some that I just fucking I do want to. I wish guns were legal. But just give me an AR-15 once in a while. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Nothing bad. Just I hope you crash on the way home. So yeah, I will not put anyone on a show that I hate. I won't work for anyone that I hate. And if I can control it, I won't work with anyone that I hate. Or just not even like. And there are lots of people that can't or won't do that. They're like, oh no, we have to put her on because if we don't, she'll fucking talk to these people. It's like, nah, I'm not interested. I'm waiting for the day. There's a couple of people I've got in mind. I'm waiting for the day where I'm running a good show. And these 2 fucks message me now. Hey, can I come and headline? You go fuck yourself. You go fuck yourself. Because when I was starting, you were a cunt. And presumably talked to lots of people about me. When I did like my 3rd ever open mic. You know you fucking are. You thick-wristed, rimmed. I run 27 gigs in Bristol. And I want to run the festival, fucking prick. And you blank me when I'm in the boardroom, specifically in 2021. And then you like get out my way. I would have fucking thrown you out that window. You thick-wristed lettuce. You know you are. But I don't care. Sorry, Johnson. They had no idea anything was going on in town. They could be in the coffee shop. Yeah. Yeah, no idea. They don't know. There's a comedy show? Let me see if I missed anything here. Yeah. Also, Konopka saved me from what I believe. I think we've heard her name on the podcast, and Andrew said something about her as well. Suzanne. Well, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I was speaking to some lady after the show I haven't got a clue what's going on. She's like, where are you from? England, come all this from England. I'm just talking to her right after. I was talking to a few people. Kanopka grabbed me by the fucking arm and go, get over here. Get the fuck away from her. It was something like that, like, get away. Jesus Christ, what the fuck are you doing? Come over here, talk to us. I'm like, all right, man, I don't know who she is. But yeah. There are also people like that to avoid as well. But I didn't know. I'm just a naive idiot. I don't know anyone in town. I don't know. You stay away from the people who want to spend time with comedians. That I'd forgotten about that, and that did make me fucking laugh. Get over here. But the art around Bisbee, amazing. There's all these wonderful murals up in Warren, and there's one artist that's got stuff everywhere. The library's really cool inside, actually. That's Tom Knopf's Perch, where he takes the photos of the coffee shop. Yeah, pretty good, pretty cool experience, I guess, all around. And I hope to go back to Tucson and Bisbee, and hopefully there'll be some news about that down the line, and there'll be some more stuff. I hope. I need to sort this shit out. I need to do some that kind of admin, and I need to do a bunch more. So there's going to be a lot of festival stuff going on. I've got some gigs coming up here, short sets, and I'll be booking in Brighton, because Brighton's next May, but I need to book it in November. That's how far out it is. So I need to now start getting on. I'm going to try and get into a couple of other festivals. So there's going to be like 3 or 4 festivals, a couple of nights each, probably, for a longer set. And I'll see what Shannon can do, but I'm probably going to take a few people. We'll go as a little group, and I'm going to headline, right? My show, and you can come on it. Unless you don't fucking get, if you don't do gigs, then you got to do 50 gigs before March to get on it. You are. I'm going to do a bunch of that over the next year, and then hopefully a period of something else, which I hope to be able to talk about. But it's not even beyond a couple of comments. It's not in any way solid. And I also need to deal with when I can do that. So it'll be at least March or April next year. Probably April, to be honest, given that Brighton's in May, April, maybe. But it should be a bunch of shows. And then next year to try and build up an hour. And then hopefully wangle my way into Edinburgh. Because I can't trust going as a 2-person, really, with anyone, because people pull out and people go, it's too expensive, and it is expensive. But I have to go to Edinburgh either next year or the year after. I didn't go this year at all, and I think if I can get, it's tough to get in as well as a white man who, and I'm not complaining about that, by the way. It's just as me who hasn't gone and done a full show there before. It's tough. So, but I'm hoping I do enough in the meantime. So I'll probably apply late to there. I'll probably do enough in the meantime. I can go look at it. I've done this and this and this. It's like some videos and all that stuff, right? And then take that and do something like a 2-week run, like 13 days on the bounce, 13 or 14 days on the bounce in next August, like bum 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 bum. And that will be very good. And then from there we'll see. Maybe a little mini tour thing. Maybe record something going into 2025. So you got to always be thinking, always be planning, always be jerking off in the trash can, man. I was going to go wank into a bin. What did you prefer, wank into a bin or jerking off in a trash can on Microsoft Teams while you're on mute, preferably? So there are those options there. Almost kidnapping, almost rape. Well, you can't put that third word on YouTube, so they won't like that. And they probably won't like the second word. Yeah, but it's more fun to say stop the kidnapping, because I don't know. It could have been. I don't know. Who cares? Just a thumbnail, man. All right, what have I done? An hour? It's 6:15. I've been in bed for 16 hours. It's 6 p.m. yet. I haven't eaten since in 24 hours, so I guess I should go eat. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for Craig and Kelly and Mind Dog. Mind Dog seems to be throwing a couple of barbs here. Well, let's see, he's not selling tickets. He's selling tickets. But sometimes it's difficult. And yeah, sometimes you don't sell tickets. But it's pretty difficult going across a country the size of America, I guess, and selling out at everything, unless you've been on your son's podcast. But shout out to Mind Dog anyway. I almost gave him a gladiator thumbs down up. It's a thumbs up to Mind Dog. I hope I'll see you over the weekend. I didn't mean to call in today to your show, like I said, but I was asleep, man. I woke up at 4 p.m. and your show is 2 p.m. for me. I woke up probably as you had clicked end broadcast. I'm like, oh, it must be like 10. 4. Yeah, I need to shower and eat and put some eyeballs in and all that stuff. So I don't know if Brett's streaming tonight or he's drinking with Mel. Mel is, of course, down there in Nashville. Brett having a good old drink up. Definitely a FOMO from Arizona. Definitely. Come on now. But hopefully there'll be more of that sort of stuff. That was the first ever comedy show at the Shady Dell, and there might be more. There will be more. And hopefully I'll be able to go and do one here and there. And more, hopefully, than that, I'll be in the States doing a number of shows in the not too distant future, and you're all amazing. I'm going to click end broadcast. Goodbye. Subscribe if you haven't before. No one else who haven't would have made it this far. But yeah, apart from that, rest in pieces. I guess any comments will come through after. I'll see you later. Bye.